and they'll even, they'll even let my youngest go up there and they'll do some car chores together, and we'll get like a free lesson out of it.
Oh, nice. Nice.
They like that. It's part of the responsibility. Like when she does the shows and stuff, they gotta, release the ropes. Still got to be responsible for doing it. Now we can.
How does she do dressage or Western?
No, I don't know where the
English. She jumps.
The English. Okay.
Yeah. So she's where she's at now. Jumps the gates, and it's all speed. So she's doing more the equestrian. The English. Which was
Testing one.
Flats and jumping.
Test 1 2. Testing 1 2. Can you hear me? Test 1 2. Test. Hello.
Heart attack. I film it doing this. We can hear you. She loves it.
Test 1 2. Testing.
Oh, no problem.
We can start here.
We'll just center it. It'll be good there.
But if you need me to watch boats or anything, let me know, because this is that. Then my son, and his sports costs like a thousandth of what we pay for these other things. It's a show. It's got a couple of we are the last show. We got 2 down at Bales. Not including our monthly budget here. $200 for the weekend.
Good question. I think it's fiscal.
Yeah. 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 I was between the riding. I was out in the corner with the cop. I was just in the middle of the highway going. Please pay for my daughter's tuition.
So that's why expanded again.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I just bought an acre.
Okay.
2.6 miles away from the marina.
Yeah.
It is going to be the new Windsong workshop and public storage.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
Kind of weird having it.
they accepted my offer yesterday. So yeah,
That is really cool. That is really good.
We in the city, we changed from a dais to rectangle. Spread out in a rectangle probably takes as much.
oh, my guys are so excited. They can't wait to get
But we
into
didn't let
clear
the
it.
people.
So like we're gonna go
They
here.
had to call in.
Barbecue.
There you go.
Right.
Bonfire.
That makes sense.
So
And
excited.
a couple calls.
Captain Mallow, I don't see if I can borrow a cadaver dog, because there's guys
But we
dead
let 'em
on
back in.
somewhere, man.
That was all right. Yeah.
Oh, no, you go down.
I think we're recording, by the way, to see
Hopefully
that.
start getting back to normal.
we're good.
sooner or later.
It's not.
We are. Okay.
And even then, 10 months to get it.
Okay, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Tourist Development Council meeting for August 12th, 2020. If we could please rise for the invocation and the pledge.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
The Honorable Kenneth Burgess.
Here.
The Honorable Chopper Davis.
Here.
Mike Kidd.
Here.
Judy Sutton.
Here.
Robert Reilly. Wendy Longman.
Here.
Greg Linners.
Here.
Mike Bishop.
Mike's out.
Mike, okay, thank you. And Chairman Mike Moore.
Here, thank you so much. Okay, it's a time for public comment. Persons wishing to address the council requested to sign in will be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have anybody that's signed up to speak during public comment via WebEx or the telephone? Everybody lined up? Okay, so I actually need the county attorney to come up real quick. It wasn't on the agenda, but if you could just,
Absolutely.
go ahead and just talk about our procedures today.
Sure. Good morning, Council. On March 20, 2020, Governor DeSantis issued Executive Order 20-69, which recently has been extended by Executive Order 20-179, which suspended any Florida statute that requires a quorum to be present in person or requires a local government entity to meet in a specific public place. However, this council has chosen to hold this meeting with a quorum physically present, utilizing communication media technology for the team members and public to participate. A detailed advertisement was run in the Tampa Bay Times indicating the council's intent to conduct a hybrid virtual meeting. Even with Executive Order 20-112, the governor's safe, smart, step-by-step order, large gatherings of over 50 people are not recommended to congregate in any public space that does not readily allow for appropriate social distancing. The state surgeon general on July 20th, 2020 issued a public health advisory indicating all individuals should refrain from participation in social or recreational gatherings of no more than 10 people. Based on that, the conduct of a regular meeting would certainly not meet the spirit or intent of the order. The public has been afforded an opportunity to make public comments either in writing or by use of communication technology that has been provided. The Pasco County Board of Commissioners adopted Resolution 20-182 on June 30th, 2020, establishing the procedural rules for hybrid virtual meetings such as the one being held today. As with any meeting that you take action at, you are required to take public comment on any proposition before the council pursuant to Section 286.0114 Florida statutes. Does anyone have any questions regarding these procedures? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blair. Okay, Robert Riles, he is here. If we can count him, there you go. Good morning. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the June 17th TDC meeting?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion? So, okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Leonards and I have a second by Ms. Longman. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Kenneth Burgess,
Yes.
the Honorable Chopper Davis,
Here.
Mike Kidd,
Yes.
Judy Sutton.
Here.
Robert Reilly. Wendy Longman. Greg Leonards
Here.
and Chairman Mike Moore.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, moving on to presentations, funding requests. Our first one, D1.1, is Dade City Bike Hub presentation update. And who will be conducting that? I don't see Melanie. Is Melanie? There she is. Okay. I see her now. So do we have a lead in or we just want Melanie to come on and give the presentation? Okay, Melanie, if you can hear me. The show is yours. There
Good
she is.
morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us again. And we came over just to give you an update on where we're at with the Visitors Information Center. So I will run through the presentation quickly for you. We're going to do a quick project overview for those new members that aren't familiar with the project. And then I'm going to present you with elevations and ask for your opinions on and your preference. And then I'll give you a schedule update and the next step. So just a quick overview. This is downtown Dade City. Here's the historic county courthouse. The location.
Melanie, you're not sharing anything.
Oh, I'm not? I am so
No.
sorry. Why is it not?
Click on the bottom. It's the square with an arrow pointing up. Click on that and then click what you want to share.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. I'm so sorry. All right. Is it showing up now?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead in presentation mode because it's only showing in regular.
There you go. How's that? So the location, this is the historic courthouse. This is the Hardy Trailhead in the 8th Street parking lot, and this is the location for the Visitors Information Center. We have held some public charrettes on park design, and the Visitors Information was chosen to be closest to Hardy Trail, which would be on your left-hand side, and Church Avenue, which will be on the bottom. The full intent of the park will include an amphitheater, exterior, outdoor amphitheater, some small playground equipment, the Visitors Information Center, which is also the bike hub with a lot of seating areas. To give you an idea of what Church Street looks like, it is the entrance into a historic district for the National Registry. Brick streets, we've got varying years of construction for the houses, but there is one common element that we do see on all of the houses, and all of them have some form of column. And there was a mix of 1-story, 2 stories, brick houses, all sorts of things. I'm sorry, went too far here. On the interior, we do have plans on allowing our regional partners to set up mobile visitors workshops or displays or what have you on the interior. So we want to keep the interior of the building pretty open with the public restrooms and a mechanical room. So what we've designed the exteriors to look like will keep the same floor plate, which will be those 2 bathrooms, mechanical room, and open space. And we do have sitting areas on the east side, which is facing the trail. We want to have a sitting porch that's relatively wide. And actually, after our meeting with the contractor, we asked him to increase the overhang on the porch to allow for more seating areas. The north side, it'll be a smaller rocking chair type of porch. We want to encourage the foot traffic that's going to be coming in from the public parking area across the street to enter in on Church Street. So having said that, here's one porch area, here's the second porch area. This is Church Street and the Hardy Trail connection. So we'll jump right into our first elevation. You can see we are looking at making it more of a home versus a commercial building. We want it to blend into the neighborhood. And it's hard to tell in these renderings, but there is actually porch space on the front with the doors, the side area where the bike racks and some outdoor garden area. That would be your option 1 with the vertical hardy plank board and a shingle roof. Option 2, we're looking at a hip roof with a double column on the front with pillars on the bottom. And again, just a quick view elevations. It's similar. Porches on the front and side. The third, we've gone horizontal with the double pillars and a little cupola at the top. And again, the west, south, and east elevation. So you can see that there will be a double door so folks can enter off of the Hardy Trail as well. And this is the option 4 that we came up with after meeting with our contractor. We like the idea of having the vertical Hardy board mixed in with the horizontal Hardy board, but we want to do the tapered columns to add more of a historical feel. And one of the things that we talked about is doing using some of the street bricks that we have in the city itself, sitting at our yard, and incorporating that historical component by allowing the columns and pathways to be constructed of those street bricks. And again, we have the east, west, and south elevations. And we are also looking at the colors for the color palette. So we are choosing medium neutral colors for the Hardy plank, a lighter neutral for an accent board. So on the vertical side between the bottom of the building and the roof line, there would be like a white board that goes across the top. Amber or copper red for the window area accents that would go behind the lighting stones, and looking at the tapered columns. Are there any questions so far?
Any questions, comments, questions? Nope, keep going, Melanie. Thank you.
All righty. So this is my lovely try at coloring the picture of what the actual building would look like after the paint is added. Again, this is the front porch area. This is the bike rack area that would be to the back of it. We would like to incorporate public art with the bike racks versus just a straight bike rack as well. And our schedule coming up, we are here. The next step is going to be, we're going to ask for your opinion on the renderings that we just presented. And really quickly, that presents them really quickly. We're going to be asking for our city commission's opinion on the 25th after we put this out for public surveys for our partners. So it's going to be our downtown business folks, our chamber, our planning commission, our resident advisory committee, and our historic board committee. We're going to be asking their opinion on which rendering to go with and to ensure that we're maintaining the character of the neighborhood as part of this design. We hope to have it started, permitted, under construction by January, and we are pushing our contractors to move as quickly as possible. And that's it.
Great, thanks, Melanie. And thanks for obviously involving the team in some of these discussions, these planning discussions. I know Adam and my legislative aide, Andy, were on a couple of calls or a call with you guys too. So thanks for obviously letting them be involved. Is any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Chopper.
I just have a question. Are we putting some money into this?
Yes, I'll let Adam come up to the podium and he'll explain.
Or what percent or whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In 2000, the previous strategic plan from 2017 to 2019, when a new strategic plan was put in place, the Board of County Commissioners approved the expenditures of $250,000 for a bike hub in Dade City, and we're honoring the previous approval by the Board of County Commissioners to move forward with the project.
How much is the project cost?
That will be a Melanie.
How much is the total cost of your project? Including land, because you had to purchase the land, and so all in.
I'm sorry, I had trouble getting my my mute button undone. So the purchase of the land was $800,000, and the building itself is going to be $250,000, and the other improvements that we're anticipating making over the next 2 or 3 years, the total project cost is going to be close to $3 million.
That's great. I mean, I'm totally in. Are we supposed to be voting on a choice? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
No,
Well,
that
I'd
would be.
like to. Yeah, if
Melanie,
you see
hold on.
any. I'm sorry. Go
Melanie,
ahead.
sorry. No, that's the city actually
Okay,
making.
because I was to say, I'm like
Yeah.
way out of
I know.
it.
Yeah.
I have no
Yeah.
clue here.
No, that's the city and their I guess stakeholders, and they have a group.
Yeah, we're
that's meeting on
stakeholders.
this.
Like, that's great.
Yep.
Okay.
Answer that question, okay, Melanie? Okay, excellent. Any other questions, comments? Great. All right, we'll look forward to seeing construction start hopefully in January, right?
Yes.
Great. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Invite us to the groundbreaking. There you go.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Invite us to the groundbreaking.
Absolutely.
There she is. Okay.
Absolutely. Sorry, my computer just died on me. Absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, thank you so much. And for the record, Mike Bishop is on now. Okay, so the next item is D 1.2, USA BMX presentation, Delaney Morrison. So do we have an intro first from staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The U.S. Bike Track organization has approached us in Parks and Recreation, and they've been working closely with Commissioner Starkey on this project to build, construct, and operate a large scaled bike track here in Pasco County, specifically Florida Sports Coast, to maximize the sports tourism industry. Today we have Delaney with us, and she is the COO of the company
JNR.
Thank you. JNR Bikes, and they're here to show what could be in Pasco County to maximize and further our portfolio as a sporting destination. So this is an informational presentation only, and Delaney, I'll let you take it away.
Perfect. Good morning, everybody. We're going to share our screen here. We did present Consuelo with about a 40-page packet from beginning to end of everything. This, of course, is going to be condensed, but I'm not sure if she sent that out to everybody, but it's got everything in there that we think anybody would need question and answer wise about why we want to do this and why we think it's beneficial to Pasco County. Let me figure out how to share the screen here real quick and we'll get going. Do this one?
Screen.
No, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody good with my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not quite techie, so I apologize about that. Again, my name is Delaney Morrison, and I'm the president of Ride Local. We're a registered nonprofit group committed to providing safe and well-organized environments where locals and visitors can hone their skills in extreme sports. I'm here today along with the treasurer of Ride Local, Justin Ritter, in hopes of gaining your support for a BMX track as well as a bike park in Pasco County. We're eager to work with you and hopefully bring BMX to Pasco County. It has been a passion of ours for decades now, and we just first and foremost want to thank you for your time today on our presentation. Our goals for this project are to establish a world-class track for locals and visiting riders, regardless of age or skill level, to leverage the experience of myself and my husband, Kirk Morrison, who's owned and operated JNR bicycles for the last 30 years. With the work that Pasco County has already done as a bicycling community, we know that BMX can just round out your offerings for bicycle activities. We also know that at this facility, we can also offer more types of events, such as drone races. The Boy Scouts of America can come out for meetings. All Pro Dad can come out for meetings, food truck rallies, and the like, with the space that we're requesting. And of course, we want to establish an open channel of communication with Pasco County and USA BMX to make sure that we're all on the same page with the happenings, the successes, the strengths and weaknesses that we have running and operating this facility day to day. USA BMX is the governing body of BMX racing. I went too fast there. There we go. All right. So they've been in operation for 45 years now. They started out as one track, and there's over 330 tracks actually operating in the United States today under the control of USA BMX. We've seen unprecedented growth in BMX. I think in large part because of the efforts that USA BMX does to create 360 degrees of community integration. First and foremost is education. They're the first and only Olympic sport with an accredited educational program for curriculum for elementary school students. It's a week-long program designed for grades 2 through 5 at different levels, of course, for their knowledge skill set, that all culminate with a trip to the local track to see, what they've done, track modeling, using a bike to learn radiuses and diameters and the like. Recreational programs is also big for USA BMX. They do have a beginners league program that operates just like a baseball league would or a football league would do. And then finally, they have sports tourism, which is what I know you guys are most interested in and what we'll focus on the most here today. In the last 10 years, BMX has moved to the top of the Sports and Fitness Industry Association's fastest growing sports at 13.3% over a 3-year average growth. And that's in large part to what USA BMX has done. Their efforts here, again, with the STEM, Read to Ride, track modeling, and motivational speaking are used throughout the country and are very successful in the school systems that they've been implemented in. We hope that Pasco County will take the opportunity to implement it into their school board as well. The recreational programming, again, is just like soccer, baseball, swimming. At DeSoto BMX facility, they have all of these offerings at the same track, and you can see that the program participation is number 2 for all of those different activities. And the sports tourism here, again, with DeSoto BMX, because they offer football, basketball, baseball, and soccer, you can see that BMX has the biggest economic impact of all of the sports. This here, the top number, is a national. There's 30 nationals a year. They are allocated one most every year, and that estimated economic impact over 3 days is over $1 million. Their state championship, again, over a weekend time period, $735,000. You can see how this far outweighs baseball, football, basketball at the same facility. Before we talk about all the money we think Pasco County can bring into their economy, we want to talk a little bit about the track. We approached Commissioner Starkey about a year ago about our idea, knowing about her love for BMX, or bicycling in general, and introduced her to BMX, and have met with her, Adam, and Keith Wiley multiple times in the past year. And this location is what she's really honed in on to be the track location for us if we can get all the moving pieces together. This location is currently owned by Pasco County Utilities. It is off of the intersection of 54 and Gun Highway. It's where the model airplane flying field is currently. It's approximately 23 acres large here. This red square is what we're indicating, about 3 acres that we would need for the BMX track alone. And then we hope to expand the rest of this developable area into a bike park as well. To the right of this park is where the high school is going to go. And we hope to be able to utilize their parking space for some of our larger events where we would need overflow parking. And then down below is the Tower Road extension that we think just really will help bring this BMX track to life and not be hidden in the back of a park somewhere, which we feel is a little bit of a struggle for some other BMX tracks, not having the visibility that we think this would have. This track location is super important, and it really makes something super unique about this potential project. Tampa BMX track is again buried back in Lake Park. They do have good ridership there, but you can't see anything from the road. You just have to be in BMX and know that it's back there. Or like myself, who grew up in Lutz, used to go back there and ride before they fenced it off. Oldsmar BMX track is, of course, in Oldsmar. It's under construction right now, and it is an Olympic quality supercross track. So we feel like this trifecta here would really set us apart from most other locations in the country. You can drive to any one of these tracks within 20 minutes. And we could see, aside from bigger events, people from all over Florida wanting to come into our area to be able to ride a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and hit 3 tracks in the same weekend. Again, increasing the hotel room occupancy, the dining out, and the shopping in our local stores. This is what a national level track looks like here. This is about the size of it. It's approximately 3 acres. And the base cost is between $1.7 and $2 million. Additional amenities, which we really want to push for here, that we know Commissioner Starkey was very excited about, is a covered roof. There's only 2 other facilities like this in the country. DeSoto BMX that we just mentioned, and Duke City BMX in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is an open air covered structure that cuts down on track maintenance, but also allows for year-round racing. You don't have to worry about a rain out. You really cut down on the heat as well in Florida. So we could foresee this hosting huge events, and even when we're not hosting huge events, we can also just be bringing in more people from Florida because their track is rained out, or it is just too darn hot in July to put on all that gear and go out in 100-degree weather in Naples and race. So we think that we would get a larger local draw than what some other tracks that aren't covered do. We talk about a bike park as well. Initially, we went in with just the idea of a BMX track, and Commissioner Starkey, much like ourselves, seems to be the go big or go home type, which we can appreciate. The city of Houston partnered with Rockstar Energy to create a 27-acre bike park that opened last year. The track itself is on the same property but separated. The rest of the facility is open just like your park would be open from dusk till dawn, and it's just a community asset. So it includes dirt jumps, it includes a rails and stairs and a top track and a lot of exercise trail around the outside of it that really gets the community side of things involved besides just BMX racing. So we could foresee this somewhat similar fitting on that same 23-acre property. Our main goal right now is just the track. And what we think you're most interested in here is going to be some of those tourism and economic impact here. The Sooner Nationals was in Tulsa, Oklahoma in January of 2019. You can see that the local taxes collected were just over $75,000. National events direct economic impact averages $617,000. Gold Cup regionals direct economic impact is about $85,000, and the state championship events is about $75,000. These events are held, around the country, some more than others. And we think that this, again, is just more income into the area while also having a community asset that runs several days a week. This report here shows the Gator Nationals, which was held right when COVID really started to affect our country. They showed a total economic output impact of $1.6 million. And this is exactly what they had in their reports here for their county. Room night spend, you can see that this is just a great economic feeder into anybody's economy, really. And then this is a report that we wanted to show because we think it's important to show you that even when something happens like the pandemic that we're going through now, in July, Toledo, Ohio hosted a race. You can still see that 37 states went just last month to compete in Toledo, Ohio. We know that if people are going to travel to these kinds of races in the middle of a pandemic to Ohio in July that doesn't have anything like a beach, Busch Gardens, a phenomenal international airport that's super easy to fly in and out of, that our numbers would be increased from this. That being said, we've met with USA BMX, and if we can get this track built and operating, they've allocated a national race to us for years 1, 2, and 3, which would be guaranteed, and then we could bid on successive years after that. We'd also be allocated a state qualifying race every other year, along with the other tracks in the state of Florida. So those are things that are guaranteed from the beginning that we can do if we can get this facility built and off the ground. So that's all we have for you today. I know it's a lot. I know I talk really fast generally, trying not to take too much of your time. But the PDF that we did send over to Consuelo is a lot bigger and has a lot more details on what all this is comprised of. It goes into a lot more detail about the benefits of this to your local community.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that very detailed and professional presentation. We appreciate that. Just let me ask you a couple of questions. If there were to be an agreement to use county property, do you have the capital to actually build the facility?
So interesting on that. We haven't really gone into that yet. Usually there is a partnership with the county. Counties do put up quite a bit of the money generally, but we haven't even gone down that rabbit hole yet. We want to make sure that before we do that this is something that everybody agrees on. We're here today with you asking for your support and a recommendation that you think this would be a good asset for the community while we go and meet with some of the county commissioners and ultimately the Board of County Commissioners. One of the ideas we have for this roof that we think is incredibly important, that we think could offset a lot of these costs, is to install solar panels on the top of the roof. We've seen this done at Legoland in partnership with Tampa Electric. They get enough power generated from there for 730,000 customers. So we could see if we could do a partnership with a local power company to install solar panels to offset some of this, that maybe some of the costs would be offset. Or maybe we can partner with Publix next door to offset some of their operating costs in a really Go Green initiative, which I know that Publix specifically is really involved with.
Okay, thanks. So I'm familiar with BMX, and I've actually many years ago we bought bikes from your store.
Perfect. Very good.
My kids did a short stint in BMX racing over at Lake Park at the Tampa BMX for a while. But when they're young and they dabble in everything, right? And so instead, my daughter decided to get into horse riding, which cost 800 million times more.
I don't know which one costs more in the end.
But so again, I think it's just, we want to be honest and upfront and full disclosure with everything we do here. And I can let, Adam talk. I know this is more just of an informational presentation, but again, when we talk about the tourism and the tourism budget and, the unfortunate hit that we've taken this year and the budget that they have set for I don't remember how many years when it comes to capital projects, I just want to be honest that, there's not a lot of cash or additional cash sitting in their budget for future capital projects at this time, because so much of those dollars have been allocated towards the Wiregrass Ranch Sports Campus, for example. And you just heard a presentation where there was money allocated towards this bike hub here in Dade City. So again, I just want to be upfront and honest with you. When there's I think, yes, it could be definitely a destination, and for Florida sports, especially. I think, this is my opinion, not the opinion, but just my opinion. But facts right now too is, I think a land deal would be, or something to utilize, or a land lease or something like that would not be difficult to do somewhere in Pasco County. The difficulty would be, we just don't have money in the budget, the tourism budget right now for additional capital projects. And I think Adam can attest to that right now. Not saying in the future there might not be, but right now, there's the cash, whether it be, $1 million or $1.5 million or $2 or $3 million, it just is not within the tourism budget. If you look at their plan in the next year of supporting projects throughout the county, whether it be, any type of events, a lot of those dollars are allocated. So, but, one of the things we do though, is we do have, and I'm sure Adam explained this to you, or Consuelo explained this to you, when you do have events come here that bring heads and beds, there are, quote, incentives that tourism does do and partners with organizations like yours to help bring those events in. So that's definitely a possibility for the future. I'm sure we would all love to see and participate in. Just the capital right now. Again, I just don't want to, I want us to be honest and don't get people's hopes up. We don't have $2 million, $3 million sitting in the tourism budget we can use for a capital project right now. So
Adam has been very honest with us about this from the very beginning when we first presented to him. And really, for lack of a better term, we're not scared. So we think that there are some other outlets within the state of Florida and even in the regional area that we can maybe tap into, as well as maybe a corporate sponsor like Houston did with Rockstar Energy, that we would like to see. We're really just wanting to get the Tourism Council's endorsement on this, that they think that it would be a good investment, for the county, even if it's just for the land, and to really endorse the value of the BMX track and ultimate BMX park, so that we can move forward with this, see if we can make it happen.
excellent. I appreciate it. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Captain Wendy.
I think it's phenomenal. I love the idea. I think that it would add a lot of value to the county, and with the state of how things are, it's a great social distancing sport. So I think it's a phenomenal idea.
Right.
BMX is one of the only sports that you can actually do with your family, right? So you can be the grandpa riding with your kids, you can be the mom riding with your kids, your 2-year-old can do it, your 16-year-old can do it. You don't have to sit on the sidelines and just watch or drop off your kids. You can participate in this. And like you said, you social distance, and USA BMX has put in some great parameters to be able to run these national races and still keep the social distancing guidelines from the CDC and local governments in place.
Definitely. That's a great point. Any other questions, comments?
I have one.
Oh, Ms. Sutton, go ahead.
Do you know whether or not the Oldsmar facility actually is covered?
The Oldsmar facility is not covered. Like I said, there's only 2 other covered facilities in the country. There are 2 more that are indoor, completely air conditioned up in the Northeast, because they can't really operate more than 3 months without it. But Oldsmar is not covered. We actually tried to convince Sarasota to cover their track when they were rebuilding, and they said, nope, we would rather have a Supercross track. Supercross tracks actually are not allowed to be built anymore in the country, just because there's not a need for more. They have plenty of them, and the Supercross track is only good if you're a professional, Olympic level racer, and not everybody under that. So no, it is not covered. We would be the only one in the Southeast with a covered track.
Oh, that's outstanding. I agree with Wendy. I do think, even myself, I know between US and Canada, I also know people that do BMX, and you do travel a lot, and there is an opportunity to bring it to Pasco.
Right. So I think we appreciate it again. I think, continue on with your conversations with Adam, and obviously probably parks, as well as, it sounds like utilities needs to be involved to have the discussions. But we really do appreciate it. And hopefully, something can come to fruition in the future.
That's great. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, we'll give a second to move over to the next person that's coming online. Let's see here. I think we're just going to go with funding requests. Do we have anybody that's going to speak in reference to Chasco or Kumquat Festival that's coming online? Is there anybody? I see John Moore's here. I would assume he's up for Kumquat?
So this year I'm gonna be making a little bit different. Usually we have these organizations presenting, but because of COVID-19, I talked to all of them and we agreed that I'm gonna be like a very brief presentation.
Okay.
So my name is Consuelo Sanchez, Sports Tourism Development Manager. Basically, we opened the new marketing matching sponsorship program cycle for events taking place October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021. Back on March 12th, 2020, we made a couple changes to the program that were approved by the Tourist Development Council before. So in the past, this program allowed only for out of the Tampa Bay region expenditures. Right now, we changed it for out of Pasco County. Another change that this program had was basically the fact that they needed to take some kind of training so they know exactly what we're expecting from them. They certified that they understood the terms of the new policy. They were required also to submit a marketing plan form with information related to those marketing expenditures that they're planning to claim for reimbursement. And they understood also that basically they need to follow our brand guidelines, meaning that we are going to be able to review the advertisement arts before they actually publish them. So we had to extend the deadline for the marketing presentations until July 31st. The original date was June 30th. However, because of COVID-19, it took a little bit longer. We received 3 applications, one for Chasco Fiesta, one for Kumquat Festival, and one for Pigs in Hills Barbecue and Blues Festival. So I included in the package a little summary of the marketing expenditures that they want to claim for reimbursement. However, I'm going to just give a little summary of these expenditures. From Chasco Fiesta, they submitted eligible marketing expenditures out of the Pasco County area for $5,000. The total marketing budget is $25,000. Therefore, we're recommending $5,000. It is important to mention that this program is not based on room night generation. Rather, it's based on the exposure that they're going to be doing for Florida Sports Coast and the potential to attract new visitors to our area. Kumquat Festival, I have John Morse here. We were working with him, the marketing plan. Actually, it's been always great working with John because every single change that he makes to the plan, he sent it to me for my approval. So he submitted eligible marketing expenditures for $2,000. However, I'm recommending $5,000. Why? Because he's not sure how to handle everything right now just because of COVID-19. They usually host the event in January. They push it back until March. But I know for a fact that every time he includes us, he's always marketing everything the correct way. And one of the new requirements of this policy is that any change to the marketing plan needs to be approved by our office. So with that said, I'm pretty sure that, and John, if you can speak about it, I'm pretty sure that he has the potential to market for up to $5,000. I'm gonna be working close with him to make sure that he follows our guidelines. Can you speak, John?
We're obviously working towards just seeing how we can manage a festival with really not knowing what's going on. I have reached out to a couple of our in-kind partners who have been very, very good and very generous and extremely great at promoting Pasco outside of our county. And I do appreciate Consuelo and all the patience she's had with it. Also, being able to market into the Tampa Bay region and outside of Pasco makes a big difference because in many of our cases, this is where our market is from Sarasota, Pinellas, in areas that, they may stay, they may not, but regardless, it's adding a lot of exposure to what we're doing. Very excited about the new bike hub and visitor center going in across the street, and appreciate the TDC support for the Dade City area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Morris.
Thank you, John. So like I mentioned before, his overall marketing budget is $25,000. Eligible marketing expenditures, $2,000. But again, we can always tweak that marketing budget and we can allow him up to $5,000 if his final marketing plan is just gonna comply with $2,000 in eligible marketing expenditures. That all he's gonna get. I just wanna give the opportunity for them to consider the marketing plan and try and bring more visitors out of the area. The final grant that we're gonna be presenting is the Pigs in Sea Hills Barbecue and Blues Festival, working with Melanie. Melanie is present here. She's been great too. She's always submitting a very thorough marketing plan, you know. She's proposing up to $4,000. That's basically the same amount that she spent last year for $4,000 for eligible marketing expenditures. Therefore, I'm recommending the same amount because she knows that she can submit up to $5,000, but she thinks that she just needs $4,000. So our total recommendation for the marketing matching sponsorship programs is $14,000. Again, it's for events taking place between October 1st, 2020 through September 30, 2021. It is important also to mention that we send this information out to multiple organizations, past grant recipients that we have worked with. I sent multiple follow-up emails and reminders about the deadline. We also posted the information on the county website and sent out a press release back in March, just to let everyone know that we were opening the cycle. But we understand that the COVID-19 pandemic changed a lot of things, and we just received these 3 applications. So the motion that we're requesting today is approving Chasco Fiesta funding for up to $5,000, Conquad Festival funding for up to $5,000, and Pigs in Sea Hills Barbecue and Blues Fest for up to $4,000.
Questions, comments? Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for changing the program and making it available to the local entities, you know, and I'm surprised that the fair hasn't picked up on it too, you know, I want to, I'm looking for more monies for all those events, especially the longer events, the week-long events. We can find other ways. That being said, this application period is this through 2021?
Yes, sir.
So if somebody had something in October of 2021, they're not allowed to come back, and it's too late?
For October 2021, they need to present the application next year when we open the cycle in March.
Oh, okay. I just want to say, because I know that the Bike Fest in this October has been canceled in New Perici, but it probably come back in 2021. So I just wondered so March, the application part is in March of 2021. So this application period goes to when, right? The people, these 3 are, when is this?
September 30th, 2020.
Fiscal year, okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking.
And to that point, I want to make another clarification, which is pretty important, I guess. So this year, Chasco Fiesta canceled the event. However, they have promoted correctly. You know, they have spent the money marketing Chasco Fiesta. They included our logo. They actually did a really good job when it comes to marketing. So they're getting reimbursed. If this situation happens with these events, you know, where they have to cancel last minute and they actually spend the money promoting the destination, promoting the event, and they comply with all the terms of the grant, they're gonna receive the money because
that's great.
We have the promotional exposure there, even if they cancel the event.
Yeah, that's great. That's
The value is still there.
yeah,
Yes.
right, exactly. Yeah, it's still, yeah. No, that's great. Thank you very much.
Questions? Any other questions, comments? Questions, comments? Nope. I entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
I have a motion by Mr. Davis.
I'll second.
I think who was the second? Sorry. Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Davis, a second by Mr. Burgess. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Kenneth Burgess,
Yes.
the Honorable Chopper Davis,
Yes.
Mike Kidd.
Aye.
Judy Sutton,
Yes.
Robert Reilly, Wendy Longman,
Aye.
Greg Lenners,
Aye.
Mike Bishop,
Aye.
and Chairman Mike Moore.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Okay. D 2.2 Sports Event Funding Program. Ms. Sanchez.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna be presenting a couple exciting events that we're gonna be bringing to the area in the next couple months. Basically and surprisingly, all of these events were put together like almost like last minute, but it's very exciting to us seeing how the sports industry is reactivating. So the first funding event agreement that we're gonna present is the Southern Open Fishing Tournament. The event has been hosted since 1950 in different locations throughout Florida. And right now the event is being relocated from St. Petersburg to the new, the Widow Fletcher's Tavern, which is very exciting. I'm pretty sure you're very excited with that, with those news. And thank you for connecting me with Scott. So this is a great opportunity for our area. It's gonna be a 3-day fishing tournament event. After having multiple conversations with the event organizer, they mentioned that they have a lot of night plans, so people coming to the event, they actually like booking rooms. They don't want to drive back home. They want to stay here, and they also want to be early in attending the fishing tournament. They already have an agreement with the Magnuson Hotel in Newport Richie, and they're considering using an overflow hotel. We're gonna reach out to Equality Inn in Newport Richie too, in case they need additional rooms. The event organizer is projecting about 150 participants to this event, plus spectators, and he's projecting around 200 room nights to be generated in Pasco hotels. So I put the information in our event impact calculator, and the projections are really close. So therefore, we're recommending funding for up to $2,400 for this event. Again, it's gonna be awarded based on room night generation at a rate of $12 per room night in Pasco County. Any questions?
This is an inshore tournament? Inshore tournament, I would
Yes.
assume. Okay. Any other questions? No? Excellent. Okay. Go ahead.
We're putting a cap on it of 2,400 if they happen to have more rooms.
They're not gonna get more.
Pardon me?
They're not gonna get more. If they actually produce more rooms, we have to sign off the agreement. So the agreement is gonna be for up to $2,400. If they get less rooms, they're not gonna get the total amount. But if they get more, yes, that's the reason why I always ask them for the projection. And then I input the information in the event economic calculator system, so we can recommend a pretty accurate amount, So the intention of the event organizer is keep bringing fishing tournament events. He mentioned that the Widow Fletcher's Tavern is gonna be game changer location for this area when it comes to fishing tournaments. If we actually see that this tournament overproduces, we're gonna be able to recommend more funding for future events. But as of right now, yeah.
That's fine. That's great.
Thank you. So $2,400 for this event.
Captain Winnie?
Consuela, is this something that they see reoccurring every single year at the same location, or is it a moving tournament?
So he mentioned that we have the opportunity. I mean, it's gonna be like testing because it's the first time they're coming into the area, but he thinks that we're gonna have opportunities to have this event back here and also to bring additional fishing tournaments events into the area.
When is this?
September 11th through the 13th.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I move for approval.
A motion by Mr. Davis, second by Captain Winnie. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Kenneth M. Burgess,
Aye.
the Honorable Chopper Davis,
Yes.
Mike Kidd.
Aye.
Judy Sutton. Robert Riley, Wendy Longman.
Aye.
Greg Lenners.
Aye.
Mike Bishop,
Aye.
Chairman Mike Moore.
Aye, motion passes. Okay. Canis Dupree Invitational Girls Basketball Tournament.
Okay, so this event has been hosted for the last 6 years in the Tampa University of Tampa. Yes, University of Tampa. And they're very excited with the new Wiregrass Ranch Sports Campus of Pasco County because they're gonna have the ability to have all them courts under just one roof. They usually have about 60 girls basketball teams. This year, they're projecting to have about 40 girls basketball teams. They're gonna be coming from all over Florida to attend this event. We're already working with multiple hotels for this event, which is basically great. It's gonna be our first major or travel sports tourism event that we're gonna be hosting at the sports campus. They're projecting around 500 room nights to be produced for this event during the last week in August. Therefore, we're recommending up to $6,000 for this event. First time we're gonna be hosting it here. The idea is to keep hosting this on an annual basis.
This is next August?
Yeah, this August.
Oh,
I mean, at the end of this
like in a
month.
month or a week?
Yeah, like 3
Okay.
weeks.
All right. Okay, I'm just saying, I mean, it's coming in at the last minute. That's why I'm asking.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
I have a motion by Mr. Davis,
Second.
a second by Ms. Sutton. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Kenneth M. Burgess,
Aye.
the Honorable Chopper Davis,
Yes.
Mike Kidd,
Aye.
Judy Sutton,
Aye.
Robert Reilly, Wendy Longman,
Aye.
Greg Leonard,
Aye.
Mike Bishop,
Aye.
Chairman Mike Moore.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. Blue Star 30 girls basketball.
So Blue Star, you guys probably are already familiar with Blue Star because about 2 months ago, we made another presentation requesting funding for 2 different events for this organization. They had to postpone those 2 events. And this organization basically is one of the leaders when it comes to girls basketball. They work really closely with NCAA, and they usually host the event that we're gonna present today, which is the Blue Star 30. This event always takes place at the same time with the Women's Final Four, which was supposed to take place this year back in April in New Orleans. However, that event got canceled. So they were considering cancel the Blue Star 30. They approached NCAA to request permission to host the event, even though it wasn't with the Final Four. And they got the approval to host this event in September. That's gonna be September 24th through the 27th. They are projecting that about 280 girls basketball players are gonna be attending. That's gonna include 80 top high school players, which is the reason why it's called Blue Star 30, because they're gonna pick the top 30. These girls are usually recruited because they're gonna have a lot of college recruiters. So basically it's like a prospect program for basketball. I was reading a little bit about the history of this event, and they have multiple girls basketball players that have made it to the top leagues. So this event, the funding recommendation is a little bit different. We're gonna have a lot of media exposure. They always bring national media for this event. So we're recommending $5,000 to offset the cost of the Wiregrass Ranch Sports Campus of Pasco County rental fee, and then $5,000 to be paid at a rate of $12 per actual room night in Pasco County. It is important to mention that even though the total is $10,000, it still fits under the projections and estimate that we should be funding. I didn't want to provide the full amount, $10,000 for the rental fee, because I like to see that there's some commitment to bring room night generation to the area. So we're recommending that $10,000 for this event. Again, $5,000 are gonna be used to offset the cost of the rental fee. $5,000 are gonna be paid performance-based at a rate of $12 per room night generated in Pasco County. According to the economic impact calculator, we can get at least 872 room nights here in Pasco. We're already working with multiple hotels in the Wesley Chapel area for this event.
872.
Mhm.
So let me ask you a question on this one. So why not just base it entirely on room nights? And then my second question is, if we are going to reimburse the rental fee to our own Wiregrass Sports Campus, which needs to generate revenue to meet the goals to pay us back, I guess I'm confused.
Yes, that was a conversation that we had in the past with.
We should not be reimbursing rental fees on our own facility when we're trying to generate revenue to pay the TDC back per se.
I know, unfortunately, there's something in the, like some sports requirements to ring events. Some events, they charge you something that is called the bid fee. You know, you pay them just to come, and it's up to them how they use the money. Or events request to get the venue for free. Or events request venue for free, marketing, volunteers. Like there's a number of different requirements that they usually have in order to come to a destination. Why? Because they can go anywhere else in the country. So I understand.
In this day and age and with everything going on, can they? Hold on. Can they now? Hold on, please. Can they now?
Can you slide up? I can't see your mouth moving, but you know, much less hear you. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Can they though? I mean, with everything happening right now, unfortunately, can they really go anywhere?
They could. I mean, there's multiple, I've been attending all over, like every single week I'm attending industry conference calls, not only with Florida, but also with other sports commissions throughout the country. And although some states have multiple restrictions, you know, there's a couple of states that are also open for business. So they could, again, this is a recommendation. We can always go back to them. I never make any commitments. I'm always.
I understand. I just don't, again, I'm just curious why we're not just basing it off the room night generation. Hold on a sec, please, Mr. Davis. I'm still in a conversation. Go ahead.
Are you talking about the rental fees and exchanging back for, so we have to pay for the rental fees for to Rad Sports because that's in their financial performance that they have to go back to. So it's either we pay them for the rental fees or we pay for the Blue Star rights to hold. One way or another, we have to pay, it goes towards the rental cost of the facility. So it's normally on Rad Sports to charge these fees.
Right, of course.
Yeah. So we're basically renting out our own facility that we're paying for.
Right. Again, I guess my question again was going back to why not just base it 100% on room generation, which would end up being pretty close to that number.
Go back to the organizer, not necessarily Rad Sports, and we have to pay Rad Sports to rent the facility.
All right, we'll talk offline. Mr. Davis.
I just did a quick math, and you know, 850 rooms is over 10 grand. You know, that's why I was to say, you know, if you did it based on room, they'd make more money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that. It goes back to, again, our facility.
Right,
that,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
Yeah, that's, I see where you're coming from.
But really, isn't Rad just kind of a subcontractor? So in a sense that, you know, it's not really us, but it's our subcontractor.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So, but when it comes to the rental fees, that's the revenue generation that will eventually help them meet their contract obligations to pay the county, because they have a minimum amount that they have to pay us on a yearly basis. Plus, we also get a percentage of the revenue that's generated from that facility. So,
Are we setting a precedent by doing this?
That's a good question.
That might be the case, but again, there's something that we usually receive called request for proposal. So they outline a lot of requirements that they wanna, the destination, sports commission, CVB, to meet before they come, so it's not gonna be the first time, nor the last, that we're gonna have to help offsetting the cost of the rental fee, either for the Whitegrass Ranch, either for the ice rink, or different parks. We have done it before with those organizations. And just because we cannot manage the sports campus, there's an operation agreement between the county and Rad Sports. It is like it's not our venue, which I understand it doesn't make any sense, but those are the terms of the agreement. If we want to bring events and if we want to attract those events, we're going to have to meet that criteria and satisfy those requirements so they can come. So.
Go ahead, Mr. Davis.
But isn't Rad Sports then going to say, hey, you're bringing an event, you're bringing an event, you're bringing an event, and say, hey, Rad Sports comes and say, hey, go get $5,000 just for the rental fee and then get some rooms, get $3,000, get $2,000. That's what I'm saying. Aren't we setting a precedent we might have to live with and don't really want to live with?
I understand so I understand what he's saying. And correct me if I'm wrong, is what Mr. Davis is saying is that going forward, you set a precedent, people understand, well, just go and you can get your rental fee.
Yeah, well, let's just say Rad Sports is going to tell them to come, Chairman, what do you think?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Blair, Pasco County Attorney's Office. There's actually, this has been going on as far as I can recall. You think about on the Little Everglades Ranch, they have traditionally told their folks, go to the county, get your money from the county, and then host your event here. That happens consistently and always has. And maybe that's just how the business works. But the thing that I'm concerned about is making sure that we comply with the operation agreement that we have with Rad Sports that the board has already entered into. So the terms of that need to be complied with. I didn't work on that agreement. I don't know what the details are in terms of us paying Rad Sports to host events there that we find or events that they find. So I have to defer to someone else on that. It seems like Consuelo has done her homework on it.
So we don't really have to pay Rad Sports directly. This is basically the event paying Rad Sports and then getting some sort of reimbursement to offset the cost. Now, another option that we have here, rental fee is not going to be the only technical and production expenditures that they're going to incur. So if you don't feel comfortable, offering $5,000 to offset the cost of the venue, we can say $5,000 towards production and technical expenditures, or we can go that route, just offering the $12 rebate. We have different options, but what I'm saying here is that if we want to bring events, they usually have that kind of requirements. Basically, 90% of the events, they're always trying to offset the cost of hosting the event through the sports commissions or the CVB. In this case, I know it's our venue. We're paying with tourism dollars to Rad Sports or to build the sports campus, but the agreement, the operational agreement, allows Rad Sports to charge the events coming into the area. Now we have the right to host 5 different events for free every year, but those are different events, like county events, basically. So we could try to use the venue those 5 dates, but the examples that the agreement has are a little bit different, like a staff development day, for emergency reasons. So that kind of reasons are the free days that we have the right to use the Whitegrass Ranch Sports Campus. So this is not money that we're paying directly to them. It's basically some assistance to the event organization to offset the cost of the rental fee. But you, TDC members, you can just recommend whatever you want to move forward with.
Mr. Davis.
I just want to have a discussion among us a little bit. If we're going to, if this is going to be the projection down the road that they're going to come every time and want X amount of money, maybe we should cap a certain amount of money. I don't say it's $5,000, could be 4, could be 3, could be 8. Put a cap on what we'll put in there, and then they have to use the rest in the rooms.
Yeah.
So instead of just arbitrarily throwing it out there. I mean, they got $10,000 they're going to get in this event anyhow, with the room. So we're capping it at 5, but, you know, I don't know. I just like some of the other people's opinions.
Yeah. I see, my big thing is, it goes back to, you know, when we talk about room nights and, you know, and you're paying per room night, we know that we're only reimbursing for how many people came.
And that's what this is meant to, we're helping the hotels. You know?
Yeah, right. So which we want to do. But so if we offset our rental fee, right, say 5,000, and then all of a sudden this 872 turns into 300, well, I'd run it. I'm all about generating paying the $12 per hotel room night. I'm all in. You know, you give us 5,000 room nights. We'll pay the money, right? But what if they don't meet that standard, that obligation, or that projection, and we've just given away $3,000 and not getting any return on it?
And to go along with that, with our venues all being new, you know, we're going to run into that.
Yeah.
We're going to run into, you know, that, well, they thought they would get that many, but they didn't get us the first year event.
Yep. Yep. So again, everybody jump in. I know, Mr. Kidd, you wanted to jump to. That's just my concern of saying, here's 5 versus if you produce, we want to reimburse. We're more than willing to reimburse you. So, Mr. Kidd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think my opinion would be that it's a guaranteed incentive, right? So you're telling someone that you're competing with all these different, potentially, I mean, we know we have state-of-the-art facility, but you're saying this is guaranteed. So it's a handshake. I think for levity on the situation, maybe Adam, you could speak to, because I know your history with at least in Florida as well is pretty storied, and I'm sure it's not maybe a precedent for Rad Sports and or Pasco County, but as far as nationally or regionally, this is pretty standard, right? I mean, this is what we have to do to compete. I think that's what we need to understand, is that this isn't something like, oh my gosh, Pasco County is doing something that nobody else is doing. That's not the case at all. I mean, in a hotel world, you have to, you know, we give the entire ballroom for free to be able to get them to come in. I mean, it's pretty standard. Obviously, it's a bigger situation, but also those room nights generate taxes for Pasco County as well. So I would just maybe have Adam just request you to kind of give levity on your past as far as different counties.
Yes, thank you. To Mr. Kidd's point, there's certain, and to Consuelo's point, there's certain check boxes to check off when it comes to luring business in from not only on the sports side, but also on the meeting and convention side as well. It's not always going to be room night generated and reimbursed back to the event organizer or ownership. It's going to be cost of trophies or cost of certain things that they are requesting to offset their expenditures for to bring these tournaments in. So they send out RFPs. Who puts the best proposal together? Who puts the best packet together to offset their costs so they can maximize their revenue? We're never going to recoup back all the investment that we make for every single sport, even though we do charge or reimburse back some of the highest reimbursement rates throughout the state. Anywhere there's destinations out there that reimburse back $8 up to $10. We're at 12, so that is a high dollar amount. But there are bid fees. There are proposals that are unique, and that's why they send them out to the mass quantities to see which ones they get back. So to Mr. Kidd's point, yes, there are different allotments of boxes that you have to check.
So, and also to Mr. Davis's point earlier too, I think maybe this is a conversation we need to, and I'm not saying we have to have it today and hammer this all out today, but it seems to me that over especially the last 2 years, we've been focused on the reimbursement for room nights and the marketing fees, right? That seems to be the majority of what we do.
Right.
And so we're going to continue to go down a path at the facility that we own of, again, reimbursing the rental fee. And then it's kind of, to me, again, it ends up just being a wash, I guess, on the reimbursement side, where RAD is supposed to be obviously meeting their contractual obligation to pay us. So that percentage of revenue to the county goes down, because we want to obviously refill our coffers So we can do other things like we saw the people with the bike place come in before, earlier. Well, maybe in 3 years or something, we'll have the cash possibly to do that.
Right.
Okay. Just airing my
It's-
concerns.
It could be a policy decision by the council to move forward with just a reimbursement. And so now that we know in the future that when we talk to these sports organizers, that they'll know it'll be revenue or expenditures will be based off of the room night generation. But it's not uncommon. I mean, we rent out the ice, center ice. We do it in our own parks and recs whenever we rent out Atlantic Lakes rec.
We don't
facility.
own that building though.
Yep. So it's I can see the point. But it could be a policy decision by council today to move forward with just reimbursable expenditures off of room nights generated.
Mr. Davis.
You brought up that other counties have the 8 and 10. We have 12. Is there ones that that offer more than 12? Or are we pretty much at the top of the rim?
We're a little bit higher. Yes, we're a little bit higher.
But I mean, is there, do you know a county that offers more?
But I also want to mention that the majority of the destinations, they offer venue for free plus some kind of incentives, So we usually offer either one. And this is something really important to highlight. So when I first met with Blue Stars a couple months ago, we presented 2 different events to you guys. Tom Colucci, he's actually the event organization representative. He mentioned to me that he's not gonna be looking for this kind of assistance forever, but this year he's gonna be incurring in this expenditure, the rental fee, whether they have 5 girls or 1,000 girls. It doesn't matter. He's gonna need to pay that to Rat Sports just because he doesn't know how the COVID-19 situation is gonna affect the event. So he was trying to find some security, knowing that he counts with $5,000 per event to offset the cost of the rental fee. I mentioned to him that we usually do either one, and that's the conversation that I have. So although we pay a little bit higher of the rebate compared with other counties, we don't offer the same things that they do offer. So formal sports commissions, but they basically provide everything, like everything. When I mean everything, they provide marketing expenditures funding, they provide venue, they provide volunteer, they provide hotels, they provide a bunch of different items that help the event offset the cost of coming to a destination. So we're usually offering either rebates or either help with the rental fee. And that's the way that we usually move forward. Now, they were asking me to help offset the cost of the rental fee. I decided to have half of it, based on the economic impact recommendation, half of the funding secure for the rental fee, and then half of it based on room night generation. I don't know what else.
Mr. Davis.
Okay, is Blue Star here for one event? Because this one you said is hooked up to the NCAA. Are they here for one event or are they here for multiple?
Multiple events. So they already postponed 2 events that they were supposed to host, one this month and another one in early September, but because athletics, the high school athletics haven't resumed yet, they had to postpone.
I'd like to make a proposal that we sponsor them up to 2,500, but we'll go up to the full room capacity that they use. If they use 800 and do 12 times the 800.
We can do it.
That's a motion. Do I have a second for that proposal?
I'll second it.
I have a second. Any more discussion? No. Madam Clerk, I have a motion by Mr. Davis. I have a second by Burgess. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Kenneth Burgess,
Aye.
the Honorable Chopper Davis,
Yes.
Mike Kidd,
Chairman, I would vote no.
Okay, okay.
Judy Sutton,
Aye.
Robert Reilly,
Aye.
Wendy Longman,
Aye.
Greg Lenners,
Aye.
Mike Bishop,
Aye.
and Chairman Mike Moore.
Aye, motion passes. And just one quick question. That rental fee, just for the council's knowledge for the future, was that a partial a portion of the facility? Was that the the whole facility?
the whole facility for this
The whole
event.
facility. Okay.
And
Right.
we're not paying, so this is the way that they have the rental fee. If you're gonna rent for one day, one of the zones, you have to pay $3,000. If you're gonna pay 2 zones on A and B, you have to pay $5,000 per day, plus mezzanine, plus different rooms, so everything is an add-on. So for this event, if they're gonna get the whole venue, the 2 zones, and it's a 4-day event, is $20,000 the rental fee.
Just for future reference, when you bring these things like this, have that as part of your presentation. How much is, when we're going to donate, in this case, 2,500 to the rent, what portion is that of the whole?
That makes sense. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Will do.
That might have made a difference in what I picked.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Beach Bums, beach volleyball.
All right. So
Tampa Bay
last
Beach
month, well, I want to start by saying that I hosted this organization last year for a site visit to Sunwest. We haven't been able to start working with them for multiple reasons. The park wasn't ready, They're having a lot of issues with different public beaches where they usually host their events throughout Florida. So last month we had the opportunity to host them at the beach at Bishop, the high school in Spring Hill. So they like working with us. They actually work. It was a literally last minute event. We booked it on Thursday. The event started on Saturday morning. So they want to come back. They're having conversations with Parks and Recreation. As of today, Parks and Recreation, they're not allowing out of the Tampa Bay region teams. So we lost the opportunity of hosting an event this month, actually last weekend, just because they're not allowing teams from other counties different than Pasco, Hillsborough, Pinellas, Hernando, and Summer County. So right now they're presenting a health plan and safety plan to see if they can host an event at Sunwest Park. And that's gonna be September 12th and 13th. At this point, we don't know if we're gonna be able to secure the event, but this is the last TDC where we can present this funding request prior to the event, if approved. So they send me some projections. Based on the projections they send me, the event is gonna produce about 215 room nights. So I'm recommending to move forward with funding for up to 2,400 if the event takes place.
Okay.
Up to what, how much?
2,400. Yes. So room night generation projection according to the economic impact calculator is 215 rooms. Again, very aligned with the $12 rebate per room night.
Okay. Questions? Comments? Entertain a motion.
Mike Kidd, make a motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Kidd.
Second.
I don't know who was first. I think you were first.
Okay, it does make a difference.
Yeah. Second by Ms. Longman. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Kenneth Burgess,
Aye.
the Honorable Chopper Davis,
Here, yes.
Mike Kidd.
Aye.
Judy Sutton.
Aye.
Robert Reilly. Wendy Longman.
Aye.
Greg Leonard. Mike Bishop.
Aye.
And Chairman Mike Moore.
Aye. Motion passes.
Can I just have a question? What is the beach volleyball ready for 40? I think it's 40 or 44 nets.
So about 2 weeks ago, the event organizer visited Sunwest. He thinks that he can actually set up to 24 beach volleyball courts there.
Okay.
He's gonna bring his own equipment if he gets approved.
I just know that, I think we originally built it for somewhere around 40. And then there was a period where it wasn't being taken care of. So I just curious.
Yep.
Because I think it's, it's a phenomenal facility if it can, and if we can sell it, and of course, finding volleyball events to come here usually is a 2-year out project.
Yes.
For you guys got work to do.
And to that point, I want to add that about a month ago, I hosted 2 experts in beach volleyball events. They were making some recommendations. We had the meeting with the Parks and Recreation manager and the park supervisor at Sunwest. They were basically giving recommendations of how we can potentially host college events there, because right now they have a lot of sand accumulated in one of the points. So if they're gonna put the beach volleyball poles, it's not gonna work out because they're gonna be really small. So they have to level the sand before we can host college events.
Yeah, well, I think we paid for walls to keep the sand in there. And we paid for professional volleyball sand and stuff. The TDC did. So, yeah, great. I'm looking forward to it.
There are a lot of potential in that park. I got the same insight from different organizations who have visited Sunwest with me. A lot of potential, but still
We
needs
need to work
get
on
better.
getting it back.
Yes.
Well, we neglected it for X amount of years, and we had it subcontracted or.
Yes, and the other fact is that there are not a lot of hotels nearby that area. So I think eventually we're gonna be able, and this is a really good opportunity because Tampa Bay Beach Bums, they have multiple events throughout Florida. So this is a great opportunity. If we can host this event, it's gonna open multiple doors.
And where was that event held last year?
That is all over the place. They have like at least 50 different championships.
Yeah, it
throughout
wasn't here
Florida.
though.
This one is new. This one is
Yeah, that's
gonna
right. That's good. That's
Yeah.
that's one. Yeah. Okay, AJGA at Saddlebrook Qualifier and Junior Championships.
Yeah, so everyone has the updated agenda. This is a walk-on item. 2 days ago, we got an email from the American Junior Golf Association. We have been working with them for the last 3 years, hosting events at Saddlebrook. Really good partnership between Saddlebrook, the county, and Agam. So they had to postpone the May event, and they're gonna host it in September. However, they had to cancel an event in Tallahassee. That was the week after the event that they had already booked here. So they reached out to me. They told me, hey, if we bring a new event, would you support it? And I'm like, of course. They're projecting to bring over 150 junior golf players. They contacted Saddlebrook. Saddlebrook was available that weekend, and it was again like a last minute book event, which is exciting for us. They're projecting at least 200 room nights. The event again was supposed to be hosted in Tallahassee, so they're relocating. I don't think they're coming back next year for the same event because they have like a tour in different places in Florida, but it's a good opportunity for us to reactivate tourism. They're gonna be coming to Saddlebrook, that's September 18th through the 20th. According to the event impact calculator, the event is gonna produce about 300 room nights. So we're recommending funding right in the middle. They're projecting 200 room nights, and the event impact calculator is projecting 300 room nights. So I calculated the average. So we're recommending $3,000, which are gonna be awarded performance-based at a rate of $12 per room night.
So if I have it correctly, you're saying there's 2 events.
Yes, sir.
And with the average of how many rooms again?
For
200?
this one, about 300 room nights.
Average 300.
Yes.
Okay. Question, comments, Mr. Davis?
I just have a question. It's a junior event. Do their families come too?
Most oftentimes they do. Many will. Some do not. They are juniors, so a lot of times they have to travel with their families. At least one parent has to go through the whole family.
That's great because you're answering my question. That means the family's got to do something else besides watch golf.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
College and pros. You have to be qualified and have something they're the best in just qualities.
Oh, great. That's great. Yeah. Move for approval then.
I have a motion by Mr. Davis.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Lenners. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Kenneth Burgess,
Aye.
the Honorable Chopper Davis,
Yes.
Mike Kidd,
Aye.
Judy Sutton,
Aye.
Robert Reilly,
Aye.
Wendy Longman,
Aye. Greg Lenners. Mike Bishop.
Aye.
And Chairman Mike Moore.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you. And just one quick before you go down, where was that event held last time?
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
Yes.
Okay.
Tallahassee. And they were supposed to host it in Tallahassee, but
Yeah.
there was some kind of conflict with other event that they were gonna host there, and they had to relocate the event.
This is good because I'm just
Yep.
taking notes here. So we've got, I came up with today, what we approved was about over 2,400 room nights. We got an event that came from St. Pete. We got an event that came from Tampa. We got an event that was going to be in New Orleans because of the Final Four. And we have the Tampa Bay Beach Bums, which are all over, but never been here. And then we have one from Tallahassee. So that's pretty strong, right? You figure all these events that were in other places are actually here in Pasco. So that's what we're supposed to do.
Can I add on? Can I add
Yes,
on to
Mr.
that?
Davis, go ahead.
Can I add on to
Yes,
your
please.
comment? Because I'm
Yeah.
100% behind which I just want to just say, not only are the room nights and coming from all different areas, but we got golf, volleyball, basketball, and fishing,
Yeah.
and we got 3 parties, all coming out of.
There you go.
And that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Perfect.
Variety and open it up. And that's why I asked you about, the families coming, let's show what we have here.
That's true. It's good. That's a good point. Come a long way since I'm only having to approve a
3 parties.
lacrosse tournament every year, huh?
3 parties is what I'm concerned about.
Big changes. Good stuff. All right. Upcoming events.
Okay, so I already mentioned all these events, but we have another one very exciting event that is coming to our area for the first time, hockey. So we have golf, beach volleyball, hockey, what else? Fishing. So it is amazing to see the variety of events that we can host here. Another last minute event, they were supposed to go to Orlando. However, the Orlando ring had a problem with the roof, so they're not gonna be able to host the event there. It's probably gonna be the largest hockey event that we have ever hosted, and it's funny because it's in the middle of this pandemic, but we're already working with multiple hotels in our area, including Saddlebrook, including Hilton. It is the Blue Line Hockey Tournament. They actually had the need to expand the event, and they're gonna be bringing the event not only to Wesley Chapel, but also to Tampa, in Brandon, and possibly to Clearwater, just due to the amount of teams that they get. So we're already maxed out in the amount of rooms that we can provide for this event in our area, kind of close to the ice rink. So they're working with other Tampa hotels. But it's been great. We're not providing funding directly to this event. That's gonna go through the agreement that we have with the Advent Health. The event is gonna take place on the Labor Day weekend, which is great because one of the events that we had originally to host by the weekend got postponed to October. So it's great area. We are projecting at least 700 room nights total in our area. Plus they're gonna have some rooms in Pasco, in Tampa, and probably in Clearwater. So I don't have the opportunity to host this event again. Gori told me that one of the conditions for him to agree to host the event by the Labor weekend was basically having the potential of hosting this event for multiple years. So that's a conversation that he's gonna be keeping with the event organizer, but I'm pretty sure that after working with all our hotels and seeing the partnership that the county has with the ice rink and the hotels, it's gonna work out great. So hopefully they can relocate this event. But again, a really good opportunity for us this year.
Good. So no funding required. This is coming in.
No funding for this
Great.
event, as an information.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good. Site visits.
Site visits. Believe it or not, we have been probably busier than ever. The last 2 months, we have been hosting multiple organizations. I provided the list. You can see the organizations that we have hosted, from 7v7 football event, hockey, beach volleyball, basketball, lacrosse, gymnastics. So some of these organizations have secure events already for 2021, which is pretty exciting. One that I want to highlight is the latest one. We hosted USA Volleyball 3 weeks ago, and they're gonna come next year. They're bringing 2 events in June next year, and they told me that they're gonna be hosting these events on an annual basis, which is great for us.
This indoor volleyball?
Yes, sir. Indoor volleyball. Indoor volleyball. So you have the complete list. I put it in the package. I don't want to go into details, but some of those events were already secure. Some of them we were not able to host them just because of the parks and recreation restrictions about out of the area teams. And some events are still work in progress. But the last 2 months have been great for sports. So we have a really, really good outlook for next year. I think we're going to have an amazing year.
Excellent. Great. Thanks for all the great
If
work.
this is any start, I look forward to it. That's why I'm here.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to compliment your whole team, Adam. They're doing a great job for this lineup here. I'm really happy.
Thank you so much.
Tours?
Yes.
I know that's going to happen. I know what's going down with that one.
Okay, well, tours, I want to say, was like a roller coaster, basically. One day we were going to host it. The next day we were going to cancel it. It was really, really, really hard because we had still a lot of restrictions, a lot of fear, because in the middle of the announcement of the new dates for the event, we had the spike of COVID-19 in Florida. So we were projecting for this event during COVID-19, 130 teams throughout the 10 days that lasted this tournament. However, due to the spike, 19 teams canceled their attendance, which affected us tremendously. But overall, we were surprised that we got people coming from basically all over the country to stay here. I want to say that given the circumstances, it was a successful event. We were able to move a little bit tourism in this area, which was great. We haven't received the official post-event report yet, but based on conversations that I had with some of the hotels, we pick up at least 761 room nights in our hotels. They didn't have any room nights or room blocks in Tampa. So basically everything happened here in the area. So I think that's it.
Okay. Well, thanks, Consuelo. Are you still up there for the industry relations update? Or is somebody else taking?
I don't know.
You can swallow some water.
You were very busy today.
Let Consuelo take a seat and take a breath for a moment. She's been up here for a while, right? All right. I will be your Gabby, your industry relations specialist for today. And we are hosting another virtual stakeholders meeting on the 20th of this month. We are going to have the Office of Economic Growth present to our industry partners the Global Biorisk Alliance Council new STAR accreditation program for businesses to take part in. This is a free, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but it is a free program for businesses. There are some upfront costs, but it's all reimbursable. So it's based off of employees and size of business. We have a new film page that is live. You can visit the Florida Sports Coast Film Commission page on our website that has further information about the filming industry here in Pasco County. The Florida Sports Coast team attended the grand opening of Main Event in Wesley Chapel. This is a really cool facility and a great amenity while these sporting teams and families and consumers come in from out of the area to have an activity during the reason why they came. And 32 lanes of bowling alley. They have laser tag. There's a rope course that goes across the arcade video area, pool table, billiards room, bar, restaurant. It is a great amenity to have here in Pasco County again. The Florida Sports Coast team also
You need to
joined.
talk to them about their rates a little bit. Sorry. $40 to hour for two people to bowl is not very
They have specials
economical.
on certain days.
Yeah.
So
Wednesday night. Sorry, that's
my family and I and went to enjoy the the amenity main event and had the kind of same experience. But I think looking at not as a individual or a family of four, but looking at everyone that is going to that facility for the experience.
Sure.
I much rather have everyone go in there and enjoy just a little bit of piece of it rather than myself enjoying all of it and no one else getting a chance to enjoy that great bowling alley or main event for the area. So it's a great, again, yeah, the rates are high, but just to have everyone experience what that means here.
Oh, it is.
in
It's
our
just my
destination.
concern is, when you talk about, the local community and the local citizens in the area, it's, you definitely can't hit it up every week unless you.
You got a horse to take care of.
Yeah. I love it. That's a good one.
Horses.
But anyways, it's very nice.
So we're excited. Lastly, we're excited to be in conversation with the new crate container park that's coming to the Grove and Wesley Chapel. The events that they are planning on bringing in. I know there's an upcoming country music festival that's going to be held there at the Grove, and again, we're talking about amenities and the entertainment factor that we can now support by marketing and telling that story to our visitors and consumers that are coming in to have our experience in Florida Sports Coast. So I believe that is it for the update for the industry relations report. And thank you. Any questions?
Looks like we're good.
I don't know how I'm going to follow Consuelo, but I'm going to do my best. So we successfully were able to turn back on our marketing efforts on May 15th for scalloping. So just so you guys know, since the start of COVID, there's been a bi-weekly regional DMO phone call with Visit Tampa Bay all the way down to Fort Myers. And we were the first ones to really turn on an active media campaign. Everybody is just kind of finalizing. So we didn't have any competitors for this. And I think it really showed. So what did we do? We did a digital campaign to target our upcoming Bay Scallop season, really focusing on in-state markets. This included SEM, digital ads through Sojourn, Madden retargeting ads from Visit Florida, and Expedia. This is also accompanied by a paid social media campaign, which is assisting our digital, as well as a PR campaign, which I'll get into a little bit more. Our digital and social ads drove website traffic to our scalloping blog, as well as our dedicated scalloping page. From May 15th to July 16th, the website had close to 66,000 page views, with 27, almost 28,000 of that visiting our scalloping page. Digital display and video drove 11 million impressions with 20,000 clicks, and that's a conversion of about 13,000. All of this was also part of our Get Back to Adventure campaign, which we're going to continue. Obviously, scallop season is over, so really highlighting some of the great photos that we were able to capture with the additional photo shoot we did back in June, I believe, with Stephen Martine capturing fishing, adventure stand Cloquet, really capturing a pontoon adventure out to Aaron Cloth. Thank you, Wendy, for your support. Boating, camping, and shopping. We went to shops at Wirecraft, so we have additional content there, as well as at Starkey Market. And I really want to point out, we included diversity in this shoot, so we really wanted to make more people feel welcome to Florida Sports Coast through our marketing efforts. And honestly, it's some of the best photos we've ever captured, so I'm really excited about this campaign. So we'll continue. Right now, we're still kind of in phase one, seeing where things go. I know the governor just lifted the quarantine for people coming from the tri-state area, but that doesn't mean that Floridians don't have to quarantine in other places. So I'm still very involved with following where the nation is on travel and kind of taking the lead there.
But we've still seen a really great response from in-state travel. People definitely want to kind of explore their backyards. So we're really working on building local content and really focusing on what people can do coming here to Florida Sports Coast from in-state and a drive state market. I'm really excited to give you this social media update for scalloping. The campaign started June 1st and ran through the end of scallop season. The total spend for the campaign was just under $2,000. What we did with just under $2,000 is truly remarkable. We hit demographics from ages 21 through 65 and had an estimated audience reach of 5.7 million people. The campaign had a total of 386,000 impressions, which also included multiple views, and the overall reach of the campaign was about 216, which included people who may have seen our ads twice. Also with these ads, we did video pre-roll, which had a very high success rate. We saw several shares in the video views using our scalloping video that we produced last year with DL Production, our award-winning scalloping video. Had a total of almost 200,000 views and almost 50,000 playthroughs. So people took the time to watch this video, which is truly remarkable.
I just want to say, I am still getting calls for people that want to go scalloping.
Great, book them for next year.
You guys did an amazing.
I want to back that up, that you could not find a place to park your trailer downtown Newport Richey.
And I will say that in 20 years of living here and being on the water, I have never seen so many boats.
Right, and I'll vouch for that too. It was phenomenal, and everybody's like, get these people out of here. It's ours.
Yeah, it was big. I went out opening day and I've never seen so many boats on the water in my entire life. When we came out of Anclote and then the boats line up behind the island, I'm like, oh, I couldn't believe some of the boats that even got back there. There were some 40, 50 footers that just decided to park up behind the island. I'm going, it's about to get low tide. You better get out of here. As far as you look, they're everywhere. People were diving and they were going where I know there was no scallops and they didn't care. They were still getting in the water in certain spots.
We went out on a Tuesday and a Wednesday after opening day. And
still packed.
Like I said, I've never seen so many boats on the water in my life. Never.
I definitely think there's a silver lining to us having to kind of refocus our marketing efforts and the audience that we targeted for it. Because the brand was also new last year, we were kind of still getting in the rhythm of having a scallop season. It had just gotten continued. So this was really like the first year to really dive in and promote scalloping. And I think having the opportunity to do that within the state and to tell people within Tampa Bay that it's here, I think it's a great start to building that momentum to then go into the Southeast and just continue it as the season continues itself. So hopefully we'll get a longer season.
Commissioner Wells is going to fight hard to try to get that extended this next year with FWC. He said that at our last board meeting. So hopefully we can have some success, because if you look at our numbers, I mean, last year we had better numbers than Hernando and Citrus did. So it just makes sense. And at the same time, if you take, we're 10 days, if you spread it over 30 days, it doesn't mean there's always going to be more pressure. You're just going to spread some of those people out a little bit, right? So hopefully they'll listen to Commissioner Wells, and
they're going to do a scientific, scientific look at it too.
Well, you're right. That's the thing. In our numbers, if you looked at the last year, they weren't able to do counts because of COVID this year. They weren't doing the counts that they did last year. Where people, they weren't at the boat ramps or anything like that.
No, not the people, the scallops themselves, the scientific end of it.
That's what I mean. The FWC wasn't there this year to do the counts, but they're going to go back out like you're saying, and they'll go around. They'll go to a certain area, and then they'll jump in the water and just basically do a count, like you said, scientific to see. So hopefully they'll see the numbers that we have and say, oh yeah, Pasco's ready for 30.
We got to get those people to come back and throw a line.
30 days.
Go fishing.
Right on.
Well, and also people were so receptive to receiving our marketing efforts to it too. I mean, I think Chris had to filter 3 negative comments, maybe, throughout the entire campaign on our social media. I mean, otherwise it was people tagging friends and saying we're so excited, tagging their personal experiences. So the engagement rate was also really high. So overall, it was a really successful campaign. And on social, it hardly cost us anything.
You can't have more money next year.
And that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Good job with that. And then what else you have? PER fam tour updates?
Yes. So just continuing with an update on kind of what happened with the fam tour for scalloping. Obviously with COVID, we had already booked 4 journalists who were all coming from, 3 were coming from New York, 1 was coming from California. Due to them either not feeling comfortable with travel or we just had to cancel 1 because at the time the executive order from Governor DeSantis was still into effect. We ended up having to just kind of refocus and target in-state travel. Unfortunately, when we started to do that, I will give credit to Zimmerman. They did a really good job of pitching to in-state journalists. We had people booked the week prior to the season, and that was right when we had our really big spike in Florida, and it really impacted even local in-state journalists from wanting to come. So what we did, again, I see a silver lining here. We did so much local press. We did so much local press. Wendy and Captain Dillingham and Chef Ben, I could not thank them enough for their time. Chef Ben did 2 segments, one for Fox 13, which was live. He also did another one from his kitchen, all virtually with Channel 10. I put Wendy in front of the camera a lot, as well as Captain Dillingham to give the perspective of a tour operator, as well as from a local fishing captain. And I have to say, he stepped up every single time. We even had a front page feature on the Tampa Bay Times that continued throughout. It was truly an amazing feature. And I think it really encapsulated the experience. So I really plan on using that next year. So again, silver lining. Also, we had some payoffs from last year's FAM. We were featured on coastalliving.com on the homepage. So that was really huge exposure for us. They also included the article on their social media. So overall, we had a reach of 7.3 million and an estimated earned media value of about 55,000. So all in all, I'd say it was a success. We saw organic search. That made up 60% of our website acquisitions, which I feel we can attribute to some of those PR efforts. And then upcoming, I'm still trying to navigate what our next steps are going to be for FAMs. I don't think we're quite ready for in-persons just based off of the market and again, travel restrictions, but looking more at maybe incorporating some of those one-offs that we had to postpone when everything was kind of happening. If the journalist feels ready, making sure that we can host them comfortably. There is a feature coming up. It's slated for either this week or next on Forbes.com featuring Kelly Hackman, the owner of and only tea sommelier in the state of White Heron Tea Room. And she really did a phenomenal job of weaving our brand into health and fitness and tea. And it's going to be a really fantastic feature for us. So really kind of looking still at one-off media pitches, still that can garner national attention for the brand. And then just kind of easing our way back into hosting one-off locals. Probably no group FAMs for a while.
Excellent. Any other questions? Do you have anything else, Adam? I don't see.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, on the back. There it is. It's on the back.
We could do that for a 10-day scallop season. Imagine what we can do for a 30.
Oh,
Right?
God.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Moving right into the weekly star report that we received from the Smith Travel Research. It shows a really impressive occupancy number in the trend line moving back to where we were currently pre-COVID-19. Colby mentioned we had a regional DMO partner meeting, virtual meeting every other Friday. And I tell you what, you see occupancy at 68.5%. I'd say when other DMOs are reporting around the region, they're not even near 50% of occupancy. And that's a tribute to our properties, our hotel properties that are filling rooms. I did receive another weekly report just now that's a little bit more current. We're not at 60%. I mean, it's a roller coaster ride of emotion with occupancy. I'm sure the hotels can vouch for that. One day they're up, other day they're back down. The report that I just got in was around 52%. So we're seeing at the end of closing of July 25th at 68% for last year. This year we're at 53. So we're climbing back to some kind of normalcy. Occupancy or
I'm sorry. So you said, okay, so May 9th through July 25th, the average was of this year was occupancy average was over 60%.
Correct. For 2019. The red is 2019, the blue is 2000.
Gotcha. So 53%.
Right.
We ended with, okay. Gotcha.
ADR, same thing. We're trying to pace back to some kind of normalcy. We're last year, July 25th, we were at 85.26, and this year at 72.42. Any change from the hotels? Seeing.
And even last night, we still did 99 rooms. I mean, we haven't stopped over the last 6 weeks. It's been 99 plus.
Interesting.
Not as good as that.
Near?
Nowhere near.
Nowhere
yeah.
near.
We're more corporate based. So when everybody converts travel for all of 2020, you have 7, 8, 9 different companies say that.
Well, golf's a social distancing. Everybody's in the woods.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that was our message during scalloping. It's the natural way to social distance. Moving into the next slide, please. This is just an update, a weekly update that breaks down the rate. Rental market intelligence. This is our all the rooms report for the month of June. Still active for vacation rentals for the entire market, instant book, entire home and private home and shared room. We still had 63 available nights for shared rooms, which is interesting. Any comments, questions on the STAR report or all the rooms?
Questions, comments? No? All right, keep going.
Okay, moving forward. Revenue for May. So we're going to see May's revenue and also June's revenue. For May, we were down another almost 35% for the month, year-over-year comparison. Next slide, please. June down again, another almost 25%. Year-end collections are down almost 14.5%, which is revenue
14.5 for the year.
$350,000.
14.5% for the year.
Right.
Okay.
And here's a calendar recap of tourist development tax collections compared to 19, 18, and 17. So it's a 3-year comparison. You can see where we fell off course of a record-breaking year of revenue and other KPIs that just fell off due to COVID-19. So the Global Biorisk Advisory Council update, nothing that I hadn't already said. This STAR accreditation program is for infectious disease outbreak and prevention and response and recovery efforts for businesses. Again, this is through the Office of Economic Growth for businesses in Pasco County to take advantage of. This is a great way to spark consumer confidence. We spoke about this last time at one of our previous board meetings, that this is a way to tell your consumers that you are practicing health and safety the proper way. This is a global accreditation program that businesses can now have on their marketing, on their messaging, and definitely on the cover or the front of their front door as consumers walk in. Next slide, please. On August 27th, which is a huge day for this board, the Board of County Commissioners, this community, we have our Wiregrass Ranch Sports Campus of Pasco County grand opening. It starts at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's basically scaled down from a large event to particularly a media event due to the limited capacity restrictions of 50 people or less. The email goes out this morning or today.
It's in all of your inboxes.
It's in all of your inboxes right now. Hopefully everyone will be there to take a tour of the facility, answer any questions as a TDC board member to media, and be there for our partners and the community. Again, a wonderful time for our office and especially for this board and county. Next, please. CARES Act funding. On June 24th, the Treasury provided additional guidance on the CARES Act frequently asked questions about qualifying expenditures to promote tourism. And through the help of our budget director, Mr. Robert Gordon, we have now been allowed to satisfy requirements of the CARES Act for tourism based on expenditures incurred to publicize the resumption of activities and steps taken to ensure a safe experience may be needed due to the public health emergency. So we can use the CARES Act for marketing the destination per our recovery plan that supports our three-phased approach that are going after travelers looking for mid-sized destinations closer to home, so our drive market. But we are excited to move forward with those expenditures right now. We have about $200,000 that we've submitted to the CARES Act for this initiative. Next, please. So the proposed budget for 21. You would see on the left-hand side up top the revenue projections for 2020. Pre-COVID, we were looking at close to $2.9 million in revenue collections. New projections due to COVID this year are around 2.2. So that is a variance of our budget and our revenue predictions of over $550,000. New revenue projections for fiscal year 21. The county asked us to put together a low, likely, and high scenario for our revenue projections. And you can see here that we are moving forward with the likely scenario of revenue for 2021 at 2.6. Again, we talked about roller coaster rides of emotions. This has been a large roller coaster ride that we're still on, and it's still moving very, very fast. We're seeing, even though we're predicting a lower revenue of what the normalcy is, we're seeing that our monthly revenues are coming in more than our projections. So for the month of May, for that matter, or for June, we predicted or projected that we would generate $92,000 in revenue. It came in at 181. So our projections are a little bit conservative, but wanted to also show you the cost summary breakdown of expenditures per account. Personnel is going to be a little bit higher based on the salary adjustments of raises and benefits. Operating expenditures are decreasing around $400,000 year over year. Capital outlay is decreasing $713,000 year over year. That $100,000 is budgeted for the Super Bowl 55 marketing campaign. It's $100,000 there, but the campaign was for $250,000. If the Board of County Commissioners approve that proposal for Super Bowl 55, we would take the additional funds out of the other uses, which is our special projects funding. So debt services, that is for Wiregrass, grants and aids. That's increased due to the sports activities that we are hosting here in Pasco County. The lifeblood of our existence is right now through sports tourism, and the best yield of return on investment is through the events that Consuelo and the team are bringing in. And like I mentioned before, the other uses is our reserve budget based on the reserve policy that's in place. So overall budget for fiscal year 21 is coming in a little bit over 2.6 million. That is a decrease of 1.6 million year over year. So there is a spreadsheet in your packet that line itemized every detail in every account and every expenditure for review. And our budget team is here from OMB to answer any further questions that the board may have.
Go ahead, Mr. Davis.
I just can you break down a little bit more of that other uses in reserve?
Absolutely. The other uses.
We probably got an ordinance that says what the reserve has to be, a percentage, or is it a dollar value? Or
It's a percentage amount. So our policy for our reserve policy is for our reserve restricted, it's 60% of our total. We can go down to 50, and I believe that's at 50% right now, at 50% of our total budget expenditures. And the remaining 50% is broken out into 10% into capital outlay for the year. And then also the remaining fund goes into our special projects account. So that $3.1 million represents special projects, our operating reserves, and our operating reserves for capital.
And can we get a breakdown of what you want to do with that next year?
There's no plans to use those accounts for next year.
We don't have a budget plan on using
for reserves to expend reserves.
Not the reserves, the other. You said 50% of it goes into. Go ahead. I mean, maybe I don't understand.
Hi, Bob Corey, Pasco County Budget Director.
Yeah, you said 50% goes into
reserve
restricted, but then you had the other 50%. You said 10% went here, 10%.
10% went to the capital.
Right.
The capital of reserves, and then the remaining percentage, 40%, goes into the special projects account. So if we have something like Super Bowl that we want to move forward with, those are one-time expenditures. That's what we will use out of the special projects account to cover the cost of Super Bowl.
That is that reserved, or is that the monies that we're going to spend this next year?
That's monies that are available to spend next year.
Okay. Okay. So can we get a breakdown of where you want to spend those things the next year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because hey, we got a budget. We should kind of take a look and see where we're going to spend it. You must have some ideas for the next year, right?
Well, even though it's there, I mean, we got to keep in mind that we are losing revenue this year, and we're not our recovery timeline to get back to where we were pre-COVID is around 20 to 24 months of recovery to generate back the revenue we've lost. So if we go ahead and spend our special projects funds, we're going to reduce our fund balance to where we can't do anything long-term. So for next year, for 2021, we were going to not overspend, and that's why you see the reduction in our operating expenditures, because we are not going to as many shows, trade shows, sales shows, consumer shows. Our marketing has decreased. So if we spend money out of our special projects account, we're kind of putting the cart before the horse. We need to make up ground.
The reason I'm asking is that, I'm probably Mike too, we're going through budget crunch, in the city and the county and stuff. And so you're giving us some big numbers, and you're saying, and you're putting them in big pots, but I want to know what's in the pot. What do you plan to do with that, over the next year? That's kind of what I'm asking.
There's no plans to expend the dollars next year.
So somebody's got to come and say, we want some money, and then you come see us and we say, okay, we're good.
Correct. For the special projects, we can't use that. We can't use the special projects account unless the board, the TDC board, approves the expenditures out of that, and then ultimately the Board of County Commissioners has to approve the recommendation by the council.
Okay, and then so we have this pot that we're stirring. Wants to jump.
The 250 for the bike hub is coming out of the special projects account as well.
Okay, now this reserve fund, what has to happen? All the hotels close, and then the reserve fund?
So the reserve fund is there for emergency situations. So
what are they?
Hurricane. So if Hurricane Irma comes back in and wipes out the state, wipes out the hotel industry for a certain period of time, it's up to us to ask the TDC board to use those funds, and then take that recommendation by the TDC board to the county commissioner, Board of County Commissioners, again, to ask for funds to
Salaries,
be
rent,
reserved.
salaries, rent, whatever. If you can't generate enough for salaries, like the reserves could be used to continue their salaries.
Well, salaries, but that's, I don't know if that's gonna, you're looking at that, that's like 600,000 or something in that, you know?
Well, the reserve portion, could be used for like salaries, could be used for
Right.
the rent on their building that they have rent now because they have the new facility.
I'm just saying 3 million, that's a lot of money.
No, that's not all of it. The reserves, tell them what the reserve number is, Bob.
The reserve is the 50%. So we're required to, differently than the cities, we're required to budget reserves. And so you see the $3 million there. So the special revenue account is technically a reserve. So that reserve is the $3 million. We're required to budget it, although we're not going to spend it. So to spend reserves, we have to come back to the TDC to authorize those expenditures.
Okay, so we can touch some of that. I mean, in an emergency, or some event that we can't, Super Bowl I to come to Pasco County, then we come, okay, okay, I just want them to understand, because this is not, in my budget that I'm working with, we're breaking it down a lot more than that. We're not.
In compliance with Florida Statute 288.1226, Section 13C, the DMO is required to submit a financial report to the governor's office, the Senate President, and the House Speaker of our previous year's financial expenditures. We satisfied that report. It's about I needed to bring one with me today. My apologies, I forgot it in my office, but it's about a 5-inch document. Great reading material. If you ever need anyone, let me know. I'll give it to you. It's about maybe 6,000 pages that we sent to the
Can we
state.
review all that right now?
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I'll give you the.
I'm kidding.
I'll give you the sections that it talks about. It talks about the total amount of revenue, operating budget, employee salary, and benefit details. It's an itemized account of all expenditures and itemized account of all travel, entertainment expenditures as well.
Right. So you came out of it clean, is what you're telling us?
I'm sorry?
Came out of it clean, the audit?
We hope it got there. We hope he got to Tallahassee. So
Okay, we
yeah,
went
we haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
That was due before the 17th of June. So we're waiting to hear.
Okay.
Wait and see period.
I'm sure they're behind on things like that, right? You may hear back next year.
We're just one of 67 counties that have to submit the report.
Right. Probably. Yep. I get it. Excellent. Well, do we have any announcements that anybody needs to make or wants to make from the council at this time? Okay. So I'll start at the end. Anybody down here? Anybody down here? Okay. So, Councilman Burgess.
Okay, I just wanted to say, keeping with the diversity of events, Skydive City in Zephyr Hills was slated to host the USPA National Championships this November. Unfortunately, they had to cancel because of the whole COVID thing. Competitors come from obviously around the nation, literally around the world, so they didn't really have any more lead time with the uncertainty of what the landscape may look like. And then so we had to cancel it. The good news is they've already put in for 2022 to host the national championships. Then they were already kind of slated for something next year somewhere else. So that's kind of a bad news thing there. But if anybody's ever been out there, they have a Thanksgiving time and Easter. They have these kind of big events too. Not as big as this national championship one would have been, but it's sort of like a festival atmosphere. And if you ever get a chance to go out there and just observe, it's pretty interesting. And then the tennis center, Sarah Vandenberg Tennis Center, is coming along pretty good. We had a couple little delays. We're looking at the end of September, possibly. Some of their partners, because of COVID, kind of backed out, but they were able to fill those back in with a restaurant and so on. And just to let you know, the tennis center also it branches out, and there's a soccer element and some other sporting things there too. So it's not just strictly tennis. We have pickleball courts and a newer sport called padel. They're going to have some of those courts there too. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Awesome. September. That's great. That's awesome.
I just wanted to say, you guys, what a great job you're doing. Looking at some of those reports, I really was expecting even worse numbers, and they're really not that bad. And I just want to commend you guys for a great team that you have. And I thought of a really cool marketing thing for the snow park. Like snow and sand, go skiing, then go in your bikini on the beach at the island. So you just
We're coming up with a lot of parodies for the snow park.
I bet.
We have many extremes, right?
Still going around. Anybody have anything? Anything?
No.
Nothing? Anything?
I just reiterate, what I said earlier. I just thrilled to death with the schedule today and what all was on and what we're looking at. And I'm surprised that we're being able to sneak things in August and September this close. I hope that we're proving people in January, February, and March pretty soon too.
Excellent. Anything, Mr. Lenners?
Copy ditto what Captain Wendy said too. Good job.
All right. Well, for that, thank you all. Appreciate it. Good meeting. We're adjourned.
I thought